Good afternoon. I'm Alejandra Perez for Siouxland Public Media News. The Mexican Consulate in Omaha is organizing trips throughout Nebraska and Iowa to meet with local leaders and residents. During a time of heightened immigration enforcement and fears of detainment, the consulate has been working to meet growing demand for immigration information. Jorge Ernesto Espejel Montes told Siouxland Public Media on Thursday that due to international treaties, ICE has to report to them about their activities with detained foreign citizens. The Mexican Consulate is planning a visit to Scottsbluff, Nebraska next weekend and Marshalltown, Iowa next month. Espejel recommended people stay calm, especially since he said immigration policies and enforcement practices are changing every day. He said, quote, "Not everything that is published with social media is true. They say, I know ICE is in that place when that's not true. Please ask an official. We have information and we can help on that," end quote. In other news, the South Dakota Board of Regents this week has implemented a new policy permitting concealed carry at all 10 public universities, which went into effect on July 1st. Under the new law, staff and students are allowed to carry concealed handguns, mace, and stun guns on college campuses. Public colleges can no longer restrict the lawful concealed carry of firearms and weapons on campuses. The law applies to students 18 and older and staff members who have an enhanced permit, which requires an extra handgun safety course to receive. And now more news from Brett Hayworth.
The Sierra Club Iowa chapter has released a new report that summarizes habitat loss in the state and calls for urgent action to expand corridors that connect wild areas. Thomas Rosberg, a professor of ecology at Drake University, says Iowa has lost over 90% of its wetlands and prairies and around 3/4 of its forests and woodlands in the last 200 years.
And that's, of course, a tremendous conversion from what once was a tremendously diverse and bountiful and productive landscape.
Rosberg said expanding and improving habitat corridors along streams and rivers could help connect the state's remaining prairies, wetlands, and forests. Adding more native grasses and wildflowers along roadways could also make a difference. The president of the nonprofit Feeding America group says the One Big Beautiful bill signed by the president this month will cause serious harm to working-age Iowans. Feeding America is a national network of 200 food banks and 60,000 partner agencies, food pantries, and meal programs. Speaking at the Iowa Hunger Summit on Wednesday, Feeding America's Linda Najat called SNAP more than just a benefit.
It's an economic stabilizer, not just for the people who receive it, but for the grocers in whose stores those dollars are spent, and the communities that are supported by those grocers.
The Iowa Hunger Coalition says the state could have to make up millions of dollars in lost federal funds if it doesn't lower its SNAP error rate soon. The current rate is less than 1 percentage point above the allowed amount. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates the bill would leave nearly 12 million people without health insurance by 2034. Trump and the Republican lawmakers who wrote the law say Medicaid work requirements are needed to prevent fraud and waste and return the program closer to its original intent of covering pregnant women, people with disabilities, and children. Also with that federal funding package, health care cuts are expected to reduce Medicaid enrollment, cutting back a critical revenue source for rural hospitals and clinics, including in South Dakota. The CEO of Horizon Healthcare, a major rural medical provider in South Dakota, told South Dakota Newswatch that more low-income people who can't afford health care on their own are likely to get sick or even die due to the loss of Medicaid coverage. For Siouxland Public Media News, I'm Brett Hayworth. Check out this news and more, which is at our website, kwit.org.